Being a big fan and supporter of retro games, as well as a big fan of Legend of Zelda, I wanted to check out the game Knightin Plus. It's now out on PS4. But is this a den of delectable dungeons that's worth crawling through, or should you have nothing to do with knighting? Knightin Plus is a Zelda-lite experience featuring just a few dungeons and gameplay akin to the original Legend of Zelda. In the game, you're playing as Sir Zelda-lite, who travels to several dungeons, collecting treasure and taking out evil bosses. The game does have a little bit of story, but it never gets in the way, just bits of text that is given to you at the end of dungeons. There's no big world map or anything like that to explore. It's just a selectable list of the dungeons, and then you pick which one that you want to tackle. Before entering into one of the dungeons, you can see how many items and treasures are located in that particular one, and the dungeons themselves are pretty much what you would expect. They're broken up into several floors, increasing in the amount of floors as you make it farther in. The rooms are filled with what you would expect, either enemies that you have to destroy in order to open up the doors, traps, various treasures, or puzzles to solve. The puzzles themselves are pretty basic. There's a lot of block pushing puzzles or light up the correct symbols on the floor. Thankfully, there is a variety to the enemy types as well as traps that you'll see throughout the dungeons. Each dungeon provides new enemies and traps for you to deal with, so it's always changing up. And the aesthetic changes up between the dungeons a little bit, but of course it's still a pretty basic overall look. But I did like the graphical presentation, and I did like the music as well. The controls are very simple, just being able to move and swing your sword, though it does give you a few more commands as you make it a little bit farther in as you pick up the items. Your sword range isn't very long, but I didn't really have too much trouble with it. I will say that I enjoyed the boss encounters probably the most throughout the course of the game. They put up the most fight and were a bit of a challenge, but felt satisfying once conquered. From the technical side of things, though, I ran into no problems as far as glitching or crashing of any sort. Knightin Plus is available for $5.99 on the PS4. It does feature a Platinum trophy. It is also cross-buy with the PlayStation Vita. The game's also out on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Overall, while I had some fun with Knightin Plus, it's a pretty basic Legend of Zelda experience. If you're a casual Zelda fan, you may end up enjoying this one, but if you're more of a hardcore Zelda fan, you may end up being a bit disappointed. Outside of the boss encounters, it's not going to be too much of a challenge for you. The game's also, unfortunately, not extremely long, just a couple of hours it'll probably take you in order to get through this one. With everything said, though, the game does have some charm to it, and it's going to get a 7 out of 10 from me, just barely. That, though, guys, is going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.